You've seen the pros go at it, now it's time to show that we're just AF fast. Good evening and welcome to AF1. We're live for round 2 at the Nürburgring. And the question on everyone's minds here in our server is, who can defeat Lowy? We're just about starting off with a second practice session due to some issues in our server. And now you can see it, there we are. We have 27 drivers joining us today. Almost as many as the 29 viewers with me already. I haven't even said anything yet. Thank you very much for joining me. Over the next almost 2 hours we should be able to bring you some excellent racing from all of our AF1 drivers. The best we have in our servers, I like to think. From 15 teams, and I'll show you through all those cars as we go through the practice and qualifying sessions. But as I said, last race at Albert Park, it was Lowy that stormed qualifying and the race and took the win by a minute. So the question is, can he be beaten today? The race length today is 45 laps, 1 lap longer than last time at Albert Park. In fact, the tyre deltas, which I'll go through again in a minute, are somewhat similar as well. But what is different about this track is the flow. This track has a lot more, far more flowing corners. I can see in the background. That's the Beauty's had a spin as well at turn 11. Miguel's having to take evasive action and doesn't realise there's a barrier blocking the route through the GT chicane. We're using the GP chicane today. All the skins have been messed up, it seems, on the server, so apologies for that as well. It's going to confuse me over the next 2 hours as well. Hello, Sanil. Yesterday's AF4 winner. Thank you. Good to see you. Hello to Kuma and to Banana as well. Thank you, everybody. So I've got a yellow flag at the minute, and that is for Colin Backer. Some of the skins I see are correct. I think that might be because a couple of the reserves joined early. We have 3 reserves today, and I'll point them out to you as we see them. I believe we have Ben Kay is one of them, driving the Real Campos cars. As he just comes round the back straight. 2 DRS zones available, just like F1. The run down to turn 1 and the run down the back straight towards the final chicane. Plenty of opportunities for overtaking, as I'm sure you saw in F1. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend you do. I won't spoil it, I promise. No representative times we're seeing so far, but that's probably because outlaps only so far. Here's DK. There will be the first one to set a representative lap time, we would hope, in practice. We've got a minute and a half left, and the track remains on 95% grip. So very low grip. We should be seeing times around about the 1:43s, I think I saw, for pole. That's a 45, so that's not a bad lap from DK, considering the low grip. We've got some stunning cars on offer. This is one of them, the Team Speedo car, running on behalf of Charged. Be sure to check out their Discord as well. God knows where you can find it. I'm sure there's one person from Charged in the chat, there normally is, who'll be more than happy to post an invite. I'll allow it, I guess. Here's Jens Beitzma. He wasn't here for Albert Park, but he's here today, driving the P&J racing car that actually is just an HWA car from F3. Yeah, I think they were a bit lazy. They just nicked one off of race department. Thank you for being a part of us. This stream shouldn't have too much of a delay, Takuma, that I know of. I'm saying things as it's going out on my screen, and hopefully the delay between it actually happening and you, as you're watching it, shouldn't be too much, but that depends on your internet, I guess. But what happened last race is Lowy driving today the Icky D racing car. That's his normal car. There's his name on the back as well. The number 1, he's our 2-time reigning AF1 champion. Still seemingly unbeatable so far. As I said, he won by a minute last round in Albert Park, but today we got a couple of extra big guns joining us as well. We have Jens Beidsma. He's going to kill me if I say that wrong. DK, who was here last race at Albert Park, who just goes to the top of the timing sheets in practice with 1:45.2. That's a pretty good lap. Ben Collins in the other team Speedo is still a pretty good car. And the other big one, I would say, yes, Daniel Ricciardo's teammate, Kaya Khan Tuna, driving the Turkish Torpedoes car. Hopefully, if the server hasn't messed up, which I'm guessing, yep, it's got the right car on it. Colin Backer had a strong showing in Albert Park, if not for a few issues. But hopefully, an SVE as well, Andrea Di Noia, looking strong. So we've got plenty of people with a shot, especially in qualifying. Qualifying was much closer in Albert Park than the race was, but the first stint tends to be the most interesting because that's when the big fights happen. They're all together in that first stint. But then the strategies take hold, and I'll go through the strategies a bit later on as we get to the start of the race. There's Di Noia coming across the line to go 13th with a 2:09. Pretty bad. Lowy 45.0, cementing his place as the seemingly undisputed, at least so far, king of AF1. So just waiting for practice to finish off and we'll move on to qualifying. So who's your money on? Who's your money on for pole? 28 fine drivers. Only one of them can take pole, and we've used Nürburgring quite a lot. We know that turn 1 is going to be, to put it lightly, chaos. So God knows what will happen when we get to turn 1 today. Also keep an eye out as much as possible, because I'll be posting a driver of the day poll later on. No cheating. You have to vote to kick Beauty. I'm going to go for no. I wonder what Beauty did to deserve that, if anything. So about a minute to go then until qualifying gets underway. As you can see from the practice times, Lowy, DK, Jens all within about 0.3 of a second, so we've got a real fight for pole position. Track's up to 96% grip, and we should be starting to see the best times approaching 98% and above. That is a good point, Bebas. I will move that. I'll get rid of that now. There you go. Logo gone. In fact, what I'll do is I'll just move it to the side. There we go. How's that? Jens Beidsma. Jens, Darth Vader in our servers. But now that I've said Darth Vader, I'm so getting struck by Disney. Look at the chaos coming out the pit lane. Awesome. Charles Leclerc will be the first one out on track. Can he keep that nice clean air in front of him by the end of this outlap? Because I feel like there's going to be a bit of a fight behind him. Especially from Andrea Di Noia in the Palace racing car. The dark blue and light blue. Oh, there goes Charles. He forgets where turn 4 is. He's going to have to wait for loads of people to come past. There's a queue of a dozen cars all trying to get to there. So Di Noia and Andrade in the real Campos car. That is literally just Campos from F3. Again, another one nicked from race department. There's Feimster in the squeaky wheels purple car. That's one of my favourites personally. I love a bit of purple. Charles Bertrand in the Dead Bull racing car. There's Colin Backett in the Imwax racing car. I really like the Dead Bull car. They've actually put some effort into it. They've changed the name to Dead Bull on the side, and the quote is, I believe, "This shit doesn't give you wings," which is brilliant. There's Beauty in the beautiful black and green Nvidia racing team car with the RGB strips. Hopefully they don't get worn away as he gets into some collisions. DK in the blue and white Team Speedo car. There's Lowy in the Argentine-inspired Icky racing car. All getting some grip in before the start of their first flying lap. We've got a few that are just starting now. There's Andrade will be the first to start their lap. Charlie Gregg again in the Port Energy racing car that looks less like a 2019 Haas and more like a 2015 Lotus. Not the best looking car. Michelena normally driving in the Gunter's Pride car that's basically just a Haas. Paul Paulson in the green and white Skoda. That is my favourite, absolutely that. And just behind him, Simon Novak. There's Simon Novak in the Skoda. Felipe Contreras in the blue and the orange Mongrels car. And who does that leave? That leaves Ricardo in the red and black Turkish Torpedoes car. And I believe the only people missing are Moax Racing, which is Mario Fonseca in the Portuguese inspired car. You see the tile patterns on the engine cover. That's a lovely livery as well. And I believe that's all 15 of the teams. I don't think I've missed any. Yep, and just in time, because here is Ruben Andrade going around turn 11 now and onto the back straight. Now he's 6 seconds up through the first sector. We're about to see the second sector time in a minute. It's on the approach to turn 12-13 chicane. There it is. He's another half a second up on the 1:53 time that he set in on the outlap. So he's looking at about a 1:46, maybe a 1:45. Not the best time to be starting off with. But here comes Ruben F. Andrade over the line. 1:46.4. Next will be Jens Bidsma. That's the time to beat a 1:45.8 and a 1:45.1 from Andre de Neuer. Straight after that, Jake Feimster goes with a 1:47.2. Colin Backer with a 1:46.1. DK with 1:46.5. And there goes Lower to the top by 7/10 with a 1:44.4. Still not quite the representative times we're looking for. I've seen 43s in open practice sessions before this race, but the track is still at 97%. There goes Paulson, goes to P8. Gutierrez will go to P10. There's Fonseca into P11 with a 48.5. Quite a wide range of times so far. Novak into P11. Smith, I'm guessing, is just starting his first flying lap. Contreras with 47.6 goes to P10. That's a pretty good job for the Mongrels cars that didn't score, that languished pretty much at the back of the grid last time. The K you see there in 15th is actually Ben K. Sorry, 5th is Ben K, 1.5 seconds down. But after the first sets of flying laps, it's looking like advantage Lowy again, at the top of the times. There's Denoy, he's gone off at turn 7, that looks like. Yeah, that's turn 7. And there's someone else gone off there, that's, who is that? 17, Charlotte Gregg in the Port Energy racing car. He's gone off at turn 7 as well. So we've got 2 cars stopped on the exit at turn 7. If something goes wrong there with a rejoin, that's going to end very badly. Just about avoids. That is Smith in the P&J racing car, I think. And Charlotte Gregg's having some trouble getting going, as is De Neuer. Jens Betsma goes to P2, half a second down. DK goes second, but Lowy cracks in another time with a 44.0. Charles Gregg clearly not obeying the pit exit rules that I stated in the driver briefing before the start of this race. Vasic goes off, currently in 18th place. That's he's driving one of the Gunter's Pride cars, and he's gone off at what looks like, I have no idea what that is. But he's back to the pits. I think it might be turn 2. Paulson's gone off as well. So with 8.5 minutes left in qualifying, it is Lowy that has a 7/10 of a second advantage over DK. Jens De Nooijer is 4th, Bakker 5th, and Ben K is 6th. And we have Collins in the second of the Team Speedo cars, Paulson 8th in the first of the Skodas, Andrade in the Campos, and Gutierrez in the Poor Energy Racing. What we saw at Albert Park was a lot of... actually, Takuma, I don't think a 42 is possible. Even Lowy couldn't do a 42. There's a little way for Vasek there as one of the Dead Bull cars is out of the way at turn 3. Yeah, I think Lowy managed to do like a 43.4, I think. So, who knows, but I doubt we'll get the track grip up to 100% to give it a chance. Thank you, Ili QN, I suppose. Vasek going wide again. Yeah, thank you for following us. Ili QN, I guess I'll call you there. Thank you, NX Power, for following us as well. But I know you're one of the charged guys, aren't you? You're one of the charged guys. Lowy comes into the pits. DK also into the pits. So they're deciding to go for in-laps as well. That's something I should have mentioned in the driver briefing. Batesman, I think, is preparing to start a flying lap. He's just about into the 44s. 44.993. Brambo goes P8 with a very good lap of 45.9. Miguel Michelena goes P12 with a 46.3, and it's going to be Jens Batesman. We're going to see if I can ride on board with him this time. Here we go. Let's go for a lap around Nürburgring. You've got traffic coming out the pits from one of the... Oh, little moment going into that. That's the 22nd place car of Fonseca. Into 2, use all the exits. Trying to go too far onto the AstroTurf or you'll lose all grip. He's done that. He's had to correct it a little bit. Try pull to the left so you get a wide enough run through turn 4. Apparently use all the exit at turn 4. Still trying to keep the tyres warm, it seems, even with 37-degree track temperature as he dives into turn 5. He's half a second down after the first sector, not a personal best. Keeps him relatively planted to the inside through turn 6. Now down the hill, and watch you braking zone for turn 7. This could be a tricky one. Take advantage of much of the camber as possible. Use a little bit of curve on the exit, up the hill towards the Michael Schumacher S at 8 and 9. Under the bridge, braking for 10 and 11 now. Through third gear, lots of curve on the exit. Straddle it, don't touch the exit. Curve on the inside at turn 11. We use a lot on the exit. DOS wide open down the back straight. Don't use the curb there. That was shoddy. Still trying to get some heat into the tyres. 7/10 down. No personal best. He's not going to improve unless he makes a blinding final sector. Try not to touch the sausages through the final chicane. Late apex through 15. And I think he's going to start another flying lap, so he's going to take a really late apex to get the best run out the corner. He's not going to improve this time, but it is a 46. There's a huge queue of cars that's about to come across the line, so Garcia's going to be the first of them. He hasn't set a lap yet. He does now, a 46.5. Collins goes to P7 with an improvement of 45.2. Dunn will be next. He does improve, but he stays 25th. Bakker. No improvement from him, and no improvement from Vasek behind, at least in position. He goes for 51 and stays 27th. Charles Bertrand will be next. Little bit rough on the exit, but he does improve and goes P19 with 47.3. Next will be Simon Novak. We've got 4.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. Novak has personal best in the first 2 sectors. He goes over the line. P17 with a 47 flat. 4 cars coming up. Here comes Fern in the purple squeaky wheels car. Starting a lap. Smith improves to 16th with 46.9. Andrade will be next in the Campos. Goes to P8, and finally of the quartet is Jake Feimster. He goes P17, no improvement. And after all of that, next guy will be Ben K. Next comes Beauty to finish his lap. 46.1. Stays P12. But now here come the big guns. DK, he's had a personal best middle sector, but he hasn't improved in the first sector. He goes to within 0.3 of a second of Lowy, but stays P2. Next will be Ricardo. No improvement. We had Paulson, who's had a spin. That's at the final chicane. And he's just teleported straight back to the pits. Collins improves to P6 in the Speedo. The charged-sponsored Speedo car. Fonseca goes to 15th. All the cars, loads of cars coming across the line. Legreg, no improvement. Dunn does improve but stays 25th. Lowe will be next over the line and goes for 45! 43.5! I don't know how he keeps finding this time, although the track grip is up to 99% now, as you can see in the top right. Every time someone tries to get close to Lowe, he just goes, nope, back to 7/10. Every time it's 7/10 they've got to find. Batesma stays P5, 1.4 seconds off the pace. Fonseca and Gutierrez have both gone off. Gutierrez has gone off at turn 4. Fonseca just teleported back to the pit, so we'll never know where he went off. Novak improved, stays P16 though. Here's Lowy, and he's still finding time. He's found a 1/10 of a second in the first sector. Smith improves to P12. Andrade's had a spin. I don't know where he is. He's a long way off. That's turn 14. He's going to peel into the pits instead. Lowy down towards turn... That is turn number 7. The bottom hairpin. Lantern's had a spin. That'll be Lantern. Lowy's teammate at Icky D Racing. Looks a little wobbly coming out of the Schumacher S's. He's got one of the Dead Bull cars ahead. Here's Lowy's view as he heads round turn 12 and onto the back straight. He's going to... Ooh, a little moment, a little correction of the steering there. DRS wide open. Under the gantry, he's got one car ahead that could cause an issue. That is Callum Dunn in the Dead Bull Racing car. He's backed off from this lap, even though he's made a personal best and a purple in the first sector. Collins goes to P3, still 8/10 off. DK improves to within 6/10. But surely this is not going to be enough. Lowy's going to have one last attempt at this. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this session, and Lowy still has pole. Seemingly untouched. Next on the line will be Colin Backer though. He doesn't improve. Denoy goes back to the pits. Feimster, no improvement. Michelena will be next. 46.0 stays P12. Next will be Betsma again. He goes P4, just about within a second. Gutierrez next, no improvement. Novak will be next over the line. Doesn't look like he's improving. He's moved over to the left, or he's moved over to the right already. Cantuna goes to P4 with a 44.5. Beauty's had a spin. That is at turn 7. Fern improves, stays P14. Fonseca next over the line, along with Garcia soon after. Stays 17th with 46.5. No improvement for Garcia either. Contreras will be next. Gutierrez had a spin. No improvement from Contreras. Next will be Ben K. Who will be starting a lap with just 20 seconds to go. Bertrand, no improvement. And same for Brambo. But it might be their starting laps. They got one more attempt. Smith will surely be the last person over the line. It doesn't improve so far. DK will have another shot at the lap. He purples the final sector, but not enough to make enough of an indent in the pole time. Lantern will stay 25th. We've had a spin for Vasic at the final chicane. Legreg has gone as well not long before that. Next over the line will be Paulson. No improvement for Paulson. Next will be Callum Dunn, currently 24th in the Dead Bull Racing. Number 67 car goes to P21. Same for Lowy. He does improve to a 43.1. Not quite enough to get a 42 possible, but it's pretty close. Jake Feimster with a stunning lap goes to P9. Batesma goes P2 within 4/10, just over 4/10. Ricardo will be next. Doesn't improve because he spins it across the line. I can see on the right hand side of the picture. Tuna will be next, goes P4. So the 4 big guns will be starting at the top, but it's still Lowy that has the pole position time. Fonseca, Garcia, Contreras and Novak are your next 4 over the line. Here comes Fonseca rather, around the final corner. Improves to P10. The track's really heating up all of a sudden. Garcia does improve but stays P18. Smith has had a spin at just before the final chicane. Contreras improves to P21. Novak will be next over the line. And he pits. I don't think he improved on his final lap. Ben K goes to P8. Last few laps now. Bertrand goes to P19. Brambo to P9. Michelena stays P14. And the final person that can have any chance at improving, he does improve, DK. And he will stay P3 though. So it's Lowy that will remain in pole position for the second race in a row. DK will start second in the number 4 car, and Tuna will start... no, wait. Let's get that updated correctly. There we go. Lowy first, Batesman will start second, DK third, Tuna 4th, Collins 5th, Backer 6th, Denoyer 7th, Ben K 8th, Brambo 9th, and Beauty is in 10th. But look at the midfield, from 8th down to 16th is all within a second. Pretty much. Really close between 19th, Bertrand, Novak and Gutierrez. That could be a big battle. They're all separated by just over 1/100th of a second. My prediction for the race is fairly obvious. It's going to be Lowy. It's got to be. But who knows? We've got a 45 lap race ahead of us. Anything can happen. We're just under a minute from the start. Lowy will line up on pole position on the right hand side of your picture in the Icky D racing car. Alongside him is Jens Beidsma in the technically HWA, but it's the it's the P&J racing car technically. To answer NX Power's question, I'm using ACTV Competizione. I'm also using AC Remote to change camera for situations like this where I can't click on the thing. No, I don't want to get copyrighted, I think. Also, I want to put my own spin on it, you know? I haven't figured out what that spin is, but, you know. I'm hearing Bright, is that Bertrand? I don't know I can't remember who you are in the race, but who hasn't added any fuel. I mean, stop chatting on Twitch and add the fuel. Not difficult. I will point out, one driver will have 30 seconds to start. One driver will have a drive-through penalty at the start of this race because of a rage quit at the last round in Albert Park, and that person is Miguel Michelena. He will take a drive-through penalty on lap 1 as we head towards the lights with about 20 seconds left to the start. Here come the lights. 3, 4, 5 and 6. Off go the lights and away we go at the Nürburgring. Lowy gets a good enough start, but Batesman is going to be alongside. Surely, no, pulls into the slipstream. Maybe we'll look for the outside into turn 1. It looks pretty clean so far, but the carnage will come behind it. That's one of the Mongols cars bailing to the right, bailing to the left, but very clean start so far. No collisions, it seems, unless we see Legreg and Lantern at the back. No collisions at the start. DK still remains with Lowy. He's done Batesman off the line. Batesman is 3rd, as I said. Carntuna is 4th. Collins 5th, but I think that's about to change. I think I saw Carntuna ahead. Not quite, no. Carntuna is under pressure from Collins and Backer. They're side by side going into turn 5. Nothing so far. Lots of moves at the back of the field. It is a very big grid we got today. That's Beauty alongside Vasic. He's done him into turn 6. But he's going to be under pressure into turn 7 at the hairpin. He's having a look, is Vasic, down the inside for P23. Job done. Beautiful move. But now he's getting held up by the Port Energy Racing car on the grade behind, who's also battling with Daniel Ricciardo. Vasic's going to be down the inside, looking maybe in the Michael Schumacher S's, and that's caused the Greg to go across the gravel. Is he going to rejoin badly? No, he's still off in the gravel, and he spun it in the gravel. That's the end of his race. Michelena is down in 24th, despite having a fairly decent qualifying. I wonder what happened with him. It's DK that's still on the back of Lowy as we head towards the final chicane on lap number 1. Batesman and Tuna side by side into the final chicane as well. Ben K and Brambo side by side coming out of turn of the final chicane, and Brambo spun at the worst possible place right when you got a field of cars heading towards you. Novak's had a spin. Dunn's had a spin as well. It's all kicking off at the final chicane. This is a really bad camera angle for this. It's not helpful. Cam Dunn down to 21st. Meanwhile, at the top battle, Batesman's had a collision with Tuna and goes wide. That's going to put Bakker past. Batesman's into P6. Dinoy is going to come past around the outside into turn 2. But Dinoy's going to have to deal with the AstroTurf if he wants to get that move stuck. Not quite. Maybe pull the switch back out of 4 to get it moving to 5. Batesman still holds 6th place. DK is still right on the gearbox of Lowy. The two big guns in AF1, it seems, if the first place is anything to go by. But don't forget about Carntuna. He's on the back of Ben Collins. Currently in the title hunt for AF3 as well, alongside myself actually. And James, who has a broken toe after falling down the stairs. Really sorry to hear about that, James, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Get well soon. All of our support from Assetto friends goes to you. But meanwhile, DK still having a look still having a look. He's going to have a look at a move into turn number 10, but not going to happen this time. He's going to hold it back. You see the brakes glowing. Out onto the back straight. No DOS just yet. That enables next lap. You have to be within 1 second to get that. Just like in real Formula 1. We're realistic. We're realistic with this. DK's not going to be close enough this time to have a move into the chicane, but he's constantly thinking about that. The first time he'll be able to use DOS is on the back straight on lap 3. That's the next lap. So no DOS round here. Andrade past Bertrand. It's Garcia that's had a spin at, that is on the exit of turn 11 rather. Andrade has had a spin on the exit of turn the final chicane. He's gone back down to 16th. Fern's dropped back a position as well. He's down to 15th. Vasic has been done by Garcia. Meanwhile, DK had a little move on Lowy. In fact, DK might even have a look into turn 3. Is he going to make it? No. And what we haven't even talked about in this race so far is how the pit strategies will come out. Lowy is starting on the prime tyres, so is Jens Batesma and Ben K and Feimster and Paulson, Gutierrez, Beauty, Andrade, Ricardo, Dunn, Lantern, Garcia, Vasic and Contreras. They're all starting on the prime tyres. Everyone else is on the option tyres. Here's what we should be looking at for the predicted pit stop strategy. It's a 45 lap race today, where there's an option with a 1-stop or a 2-stop. The options and prime, you're looking, if you want to do a 2-stop, you want to do 2 stints on the options and 1 on the primes. Because you'll lose too much time on the prime tyres if you do 2 stints on that. They last so long as well. You've got to use both sets of tyres. So that, the 2-stop, those stints can be in any order. You could do prime, option, you could do option, prime. Sorry, not prime, option, you can do option, prime, option. You get what I mean. 2 option stints, 1 prime stint in any order. Should be pretty much fast. Fern dropping back after a little spin. That's Callum Dunn. Fern's still dropping back. That's on the exit of turn number 7. But here's the big move. DK's had a look down the inside into the final chicane, but he's not going to make it. But it's compromised. Lowy out of the final chicane. All that top 5 is still all together. There's still a battle behind. Collins having to move down on the inside of Tune into the final chicane. In the final corner. And he's made the move stick, and he's still going to have DOS, but all 3 of them are going to have DOS. Meanwhile, I don't know who to look at. DK for the lead. He's going to have a look round the outside into turn 1. He's got a nice wide line. Lowy holding defensive. Switchback might just work. Collins is down. Collins is side by side with Tudor behind. I can't watch both of these at once, and neither can you. I'll try my best, but DK is still having a look through the Mercedes-Benz arena. The order will stay at Lowy first, DK 2nd, Collins 3rd, Tuna 4th, Bakker 5th. Denoyer is in 6th, 2 seconds back from this lead battle, all of whom are within a second of each other. But as I say, Lowy is going to hold this field up because he's on the prime tyres. He's going to go much longer than all the other drivers will. The rest of this top 5, in fact, everywhere back to Denoyer, inclusive, so 2nd back to 6th, are all in the option tyres. As you can see by the red walls there. Fonseca's done a move down on Andrade. That's into turn number 5. Is DK going to have a look into turn... Oh, he had a little look into turn number 10. But he's not going to keep it this time. Round turn 11 and the DRS will be open again. This is his best opportunity. Based on... There's the DRS wide open for all of the top 5 except for the leader, Lowy, of course. Smith has had a spin. Matt Smith has had a spin. So he's dropped back out of the top 10. Round the outside is DK going to go now. He's going to get squeezed by Lowy. Lowy's had a spin! Lowy spun out of it, and it's going to be Collins that takes the lead from DK. The teammates have hit each other as well. Tuner's going to have a look down the inside of the final corner as well. It's all kicked off now. Collins has pushed DK off into the grass of the final chicane. Tuner's going to have a look into the first corner. It's going to be 3 wide into the first corner. I love this series. Round the outside will go Backer. Tuner's going to come out in first. Backer's still going to be along on the inside to take second place off of Collins. They almost touched, but Collins is going to keep P2. My game has frozen. My computer can barely handle it either. Batesman's had an issue. He's come back on. At turn 2, he's going to come back on in P10. Lowy might have to switch strategies here because he's back in P6. He's mighty fast, but he's on the slower tyres. He's got a big gap behind, but a 4-second gap in front. This lead battle just got really tasty. Collins is having a look around the outside of Tuner. The camber is not in your favour there, but a switchback move might work. But the Schumacher S is not a place to go side by side whatsoever. We've had a lot of people warning the rest of the drivers about that. Collins is looking super racy. He might have a move into turn number 9, in turn 10 here. I keep getting them mixed up. It's turn 10. But we know both the Speedo cars are very fast. They're probably the best team in AF1 this season. But here comes the DRS. Here we go again. Collins has got the DRS wide open. He's got to move on Tuner. He's going to pull to the outside of the final chicane. Last time that happened, it ended up with Lowy in a spin. But Collins has the lead before the chicane, and it will take the lead in the Team Speedo car. Here's Baku in third. All 5 of these drivers are all together. We're going to ride on board with Baku, I think. Heading down to turn 1. You can just about see in the mirrors, you've got DK behind as well. Baker's closing on Tuner. Tuner hasn't got as much of a toe off of Collins as he'd like. He's pulling defensive already into turn 1. Baker's going to go to the outside into 1. Fastest lap for Denoyer, 46.1. Not this time, but he's got DK alongside on the outside. They've touched. There's no spin yet, but they've held it together. Everyone's okay. Everyone's out of that safe. Bertrand has had a little moment. In fact, he's still across the grass, coming out of turn number... coming into the back on the back straight. DK will stay P3, Backer P4. Collins has the lead by 7.5 tenths of a second, 3/4 of a second over Khan Tuner. DK third, Backer fourth. Denoyer is now in this battle for fifth. He always was, actually. And in all of this battling, Lowy is close to 3.8 seconds behind the leading trio. Not the trio. Quintet. There's 5 of them. I can't count. I also can't English. Meanwhile, while that's kicking off, while that's brewing for another battle for the DRS, here's the battle for 13th. It's Gutierrez, Beauty, Andrade, and Novak all in there together. Another 4-piece battle. There's Andrade trying to get past Novak. Does so into turn 6, which is going to leave Fonseca in with a move coming down into the turn 7 hairpin. Is anybody going to make the move into turn 7? No, they're not. Oh, that's a bit late from Fonseca. Almost wipes out Novak. In fact, it's all kicked off in front. Gutierrez has had a half spin, and he's rear-ended Beauty. Oh, Fonseca, that was an awful move. That was terrible. That was telegraphed from so far back, and I can hear Beauty screaming from 2 channels away. I know he'll be screaming. He will not be happy with that at all. Ben Kay's had a spin as well. That is on. That's about 3/4 around the lap. That's around about turn 11. Personal bests for Khan Tuner, DK, and Lowy as well. 46.0 for Lowy. Fastest lap for Lowy with 46.087. Collins and Tuner side by side for the lead. Collins with some net code. All 4 of them have come together. They're all off. DK, Tuner, Backer, Denoyer, Collins. All 5 of them, in fact. And Lowy's gone as well. The entire lead pack has spun off. There's a pile-up at the front, and I think that's all because of some dodgy netcode between Collins and Tuner. There was still about a wheel's width between them through turn 2, and It's turned his whole weight on its head. DK comes out of that chaos in the lead from Bakker in P2. Collins third, Denoyer fourth. Brambo's inherited P5 and Lowy is still P6. Batesma 7th, Tuna 8th, Feimster and Paulson 9th and 10th. And I need to breathe. This is probably the most exciting race I've ever seen in this server. I don't think I've ever seen. I mean, even yesterday in the AF4 race with that pilot that involved 10 cars. That was on lap 1. This is lap 7 of the race. They should have calmed down by now. It's a long race ahead of them. I need to do the same because I'm going to faint in a minute. My head's going light to all this screaming. I'm so excited. Bakker's got DOS on DK going into the final chicane. I wish I had a co-commentator so I could breathe for 30 seconds. Oh, Bakker's going to have another chance into turn 1 on lap. This is only lap 7. This is only lap 7 and we've had so many crashes. There were so many crashes. Let's all breathe for a minute. Is Bakker going to have a look round the outside into turn 1? No, he's not. He's going to have a look. DK was a little bit defensive into turn 1, but nothing too severe. That kind of prevented Bakker from trying anything. Novak has had a spin. Where's that? That is on track, possibly on the racing line. Don't be a bad rejoin. Oh, it's all good. You got the two Mongols cars at the back just trying to get past there. Novak's had a spin on the back straight. I suspect someone collided with Novak there. That's the only way he could have spun. Unless he touched the curb on the inside of the... it says turn 12. It's not really a corner. It's just a kink. Meanwhile, Bakker having a look into turn 7 at the bottom, the Dunlop curve, the hairpin at the bottom of the course. But they're going to hold station for now. There's a three-way battle for 6th place. It's between Brambo, Batesma and Tuna. As Batesma and Tuna recover and Brambo tries to make the most of what is inherited after a 6-car pile-up on lap number 7. We haven't even got to the pit stops yet. We should be seeing the first pit stops around lap 10 to 15. If the tyre deck is anything like Albert Park, the tyres tend to go off around about lap 16, but some drivers report issues as Tuna goes side by side with Batesma going into the final chicane. Batesma's off the track. Is Batesma still there? He's going to have a move into... Still an excellent move. Batesma's got P6. Oh, and Batesma's spun and he's taken out Brambo and Tuna. The carnage never ends. Denoyer sets the fastest lap while all that's happening. Brambo's trying to spin it back round, going across the track while he does so. Batesman takes P6. My God, it never ends. So Batesman was off the track and still managed to make a move down the inside that looked fairly clean until Batesman took the exit curb on the exit of the chicane, which caused him to spin, which took out Batesma and Tuna and Brambo. Tuna coincidentally is down to P9 and Brambo down to P12, so there goes any inheritance. Lowy is still 5 seconds behind Denoyer. Denoyer is still setting fastest laps, so Lowy's got a bit of a challenge on his hands. P5 for Lowy. Meanwhile, here's the battle for the lead. It's DK in first with Bakker 4/10 back in second place. He's got a good slipstream through the second sector. This whole... the Schumacher S's are almost a corner. Like, they're just about a corner in these cars. Very high downforce these, which means the DRS, which you see open now for Bakker, is even more powerful on the back straight. Towards that final chicane. I don't even know what it's called. The NGK chicane, I think it's called. A little lock-up for DK, but not too much of an issue. And as long as he doesn't touch that sausage curb on the inside of the second... on the inside of the right-hander of the chicane, he should be okay. Meanwhile, Brambo and Ben K as well battling, coming onto the back straight. Little moment for Brambo. It's a personal best for Bakker, but he's still not faster than DK on that lap. But he's still going to have a move around the outside into turn 1. DOS wide open. It's closed now. The little wheel bang. DK didn't turn in. Bakker did. And DK will hold P1 for now. The top 4 all on option tyres, and then another 4 on the primes. That's Lowy, Betsma, Feimster and Paulson. Paulson's had a brilliant race so far, coming from nearly the back of the wheel, I think it was. He's up to P8. Feimster had a top 10 start, I think it was. So much happened at the end of qualifying. I couldn't take note in particular. Andrade a personal best in 14th with a 48.5. The leader's doing 46s. Meanwhile, in the recovery drive at P7, here's Tuna. He's got Feimster to deal with. And in fact, Feimster was P9 a minute ago alongside Paulson. What happened to him? He's gone up to P7. There's no way he did Tuna and Smith. Maybe there's another spin for Tuna. Down to turn 7. He's not going to make a move so far. This is coming out of turn number 11 onto the back straight. 3/4 of a second. Backer behind DK. As long as he can keep that gap at around less than a second, he's going to stay with him. Goes a little wide through the left-hander of the chicane. Compromises his run out of the chicane overall into the final hairpin. Out to the front straight once more. DOS once again wide open. 4/10 of a second slower, was back on that lap. Collins was a second quicker than Backer and half a second quicker than DK. He'll be back on this lead battle soon enough. The gap's only 2 seconds back to between Backer and Collins. Good night, Kuma. Good to see you. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat because there's been so much carnage going on. De Neuer into the pits. He's on the option tyres. It's on lap 10, so this is a fairly reasonable time to stop. He's come out in P8. He's going to come out a lot lower than that because he's in the midst of the battle between Feimster and Smith and Tuna and Paulson as well. There's Paulson just behind in the Skoda car. Oh, that's a spin! That's a spin for De Neuer coming out for Smith coming out the pits. Collects De Neuer and collects. Who did he collect? Paulson in the meantime, but Paulson's got away with it. He might have a little bit of front wing damage from the hefty front end impact. Fern into the pits as well. He was on the option tyres. I should say that De Neuer came out on the option tyres, so he's 2-stopping option prime. Fern's come out on the prime tyres, maybe hoping to 1-stop. He might, but that gives him the option to 2-stop and change to options at the end of this race. Behind Paulson is Brambo in 9th place. Kay's just gone down the inside of Smith as a tap. I just caught that. A little wobble for Ben Kay coming out the final, out of that hairpin, and he's let De Neuer pass to Smith. I think that's a bit of fair sportsmanship there after the spin. Well played from him. Is that Brambo that's gone off? Yeah, Brambo went off at turn 9. I just caught that on the left-hand side of my screen. They're going from bad to worse. Backers into the pits now in the Imrax racing car. Currently on the option tyres, so we should be seeing the rest of the leaders coming pretty soon. So keep Backer in mind. He's on the option tyres. Is he going to stay on the options or is he going to move on to the primes? We'll see in a minute. That's one of... Who is that in the pits in the Haas? Oh, I think that's me actually. Ignore that. Backer comes out. He's on the... Where is he? He's on the option tyres, so he is 2-stopping. So let's bear that in. We'll bear that in mind for the undercut strategy coming into play. DK and Collins, the Speedo 1-2 teammates colliding more than once in this race so far. As Matt Smith comes into the pits, he was on the option tyres. My voice is going already. We're only lap 12 for 45. Oh, and it's a spin for Ben Collins in P2. Those rear tyres must be cooked. The rear tyres wearing more than the softs. Lowy goes past and will come into this battle for the lead surely later on. But DK remains in the lead. He's got a lap car of one. That is that's Callum Dunn in the Dead Bull racing car. The number 67 to deal with, but he's got DOS, which will help him no doubt. 10 seconds is the gap between DK and Lowy. Believe me, that 10-second lead will be gone. Lowy is super fast. As DK will come into the pits now, so keep in mind, there's DK into the pits now. Where's Backer? Backer's coming out of... He's coming onto the back straight now. Daniel Ricciardo's had a spin. That's early on in the lap, about turn 5. He's rejoined, he'll stay 19th. He's got a decent gap back into P19. DK still in the pits. Lowy goes past and takes the lead. Keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on the right hand side of your screen for Backer coming out the final corner. That is Batesma. Jens Batesma. Also in the pits is Collins in the other Speedo car. There's Backer behind, coming out the final corner now. Is it going to be enough? Where's Backer? There's Backer. Keep an eye out. I think just that going into turn 1. That is DK. So DK has stayed ahead of Backer. The undercut hasn't worked for him, but it will work for Collins because Collins had a spin. In fact, Collins is in the pits now. He's probably repairing some damage, and he will rejoin just inside the top 10. I think the poll I want to do at the end of the race as well is which was better, AF1 or Formula 1? Novak, DOS, this is for P16, just outside the points on Garcia. Points go back to P15 in this race. Round the outside will go Novak. He's not going to keep it in, and will stay P17 for now. Brambo catching up with Collins, who's just come out the pits. Lowy and Batesma at the front of this field. They're on the prime tyres, so we should see them coming in about lap 30, I would say. The fuel will run out around about lap 30, I think it is. As that is Matt Smith, who's had another off. That's a turn 5. Try and rejoin carefully, almost kind of like collided with Contreras, but will go behind Fern and say go back to 22nd. As Tuna comes into the pits. Denoya's had a... Oh no, Denoya didn't have a spin, but he has got past Fines down around the outside at the final chicane. Good move from Denoya. Can't Tuna, as I say, into the pits. He will likely come out well down the field, probably even as far back as with Beauty, maybe. Here's the next 4, including there's Paulson in the background in the Skoda. And Collins as well, one of the formerly lead group runners. Andrade with a personal best of 48.0, and he's even going to get done by Gutierrez in the Port Energy racing car. He's going to come out in P13. So not a good day, a real contrast of fortunes from qualifying to the race for all of the big guns. Lowy, Betsma, DK, Backer, and even Denoya and Collins as well, and Tuna. All 6 of them, 7 of them. We've got quite a few at the top. Novak into the pits. He was on the option tyres. Let's go back to the battle for 9th place. It's between Collins with the fresh rubber, the fresh set of prime tyres. Meanwhile, Brambo is on, I believe that's a used set of option tyres. He's been on them since the start of the race. 14 laps now on this set of tyres. Meanwhile, DK has done Betsma. Betsma's had a spin on the exit of turn 11. The big guns keep spinning. I didn't think this would be that difficult for these drivers, but they're all losing it on their own. A lot. Lowy goes for personal best to 45.9. And he's just going to forget it. I don't want to do that chicane. Nah. Don't want to do it. Ben K catching to the back of Feimster, locks up and almost tags the back of him, but gets away with it. He's going to still be on the back of him, enough to maybe make him into the final hairpin, but he's not going to do it. Oh, he is going to do it. He's done it quite late into the corner. Excellent move. Ben K is going to have the DOS as well, so he's going to stay ahead. Well, I'm saying that, Feimster's still got some slipstream, so he might have a dive into turn 1 if he's looking at it. Denoya, I think that was just ahead with a little lock-up. So DK and Backer both on the option tyres at the minute. So they'll be pitting around about lap 22 to 25 to go onto the prime tyres to the end of the race. Which means this strategy surely won't work out because they've still got to catch up to the back of Lowy, who will be one-stopping, you would think. Although I think he did say he was going to try a 2-stop strategy. But he might switch to a 1-stop strategy if he can make the prime tyres last. If the fuel goes to lap 28 to 30, a little moment for Ben Kay out of the hairpin, as Fonseca comes into the pits as well from the option tyres. What was I saying? If Lowy can keep this sort of gap, he'll have that gap and maybe risk it with a one stop. He's still pulling out personal bests. 45.7, and that's the fastest lap actually. 45.7. Brambo's had a spin, and he's going to do a little reverse turn out of the way. He'll be P13. Get out of the way of your teammate Beauty, who's in P13 now. And we might get Lowy's teammate Lambton go past as well in the car, in the 15 car. 15 to 14 and 14 to 15. But here's the next big overtake coming up. You would think Ben Collins in the Speedo car on the prime tyres versus Paulson on the primes as well. Collins has pitted recently. They are much newer prime tyres. Paulson goes really wide. Collins will have a little look round to the outside of turn 2, maybe not. He'll switch back and try and get it down the inside for 3. He does. He's got a nose in there. That's Paulson going wide, but he's still going to have the inside into 4. Doesn't, but he backs out of it, so Collins will take P8 from Paulson. Brambo into the pits. He is on the option tyres, so my guess is he's gone all as far as he can possibly go on those option tyres after a couple of spins. That's interesting. Collins having to weave a little bit, maybe to get some temperature into the tyres, of the prime tyres. Temperatures could be a little struggle then in the primes. But the battle I want to see now is the battle for 16th place. It's between Ricardo, Smith and Fern. Fern's got the outside line through 4, which means he's got the inside for 5. Neither of them are going to make a move on down to Ricardo for now. Fern had to back out of that a little bit, it looked like. So he'll bide his time. Ricardo in the Turkish Torpedoes car. Matt Smith in the Palace Racing. And Fern in the Squeaky Wheels car. A weird lock-up halfway through the corner for Matt Smith. Ricardo using a little bit more curb on the exit of 7, as he'd probably like to use. 5 speed sets a personal best meanwhile. A little wide for Smith. That's going to put him under pressure from Fern into turn number 10. He has a look. Is he going to dive for it? He has a mini dive. Maybe to push Smith into a mistake. Thank you, Mega Slick Dude, for following us as well. Really appreciate everyone's support. It's amazing the support we've had. Feel free to share this as much as you like. This wide for Fern completely misses braking zone for turn 13 and 14. We want as many people to see this as possible, obviously. Yeah, I agree with Lipsy. This is better than F1. How long have you been in this? How long have you been watching this race? Have you seen from the start? So I think I'll switch to Smith, who's going to look at round the outside of Ricardo into turn number 1. Almost from the start. Have you seen lap 7? I apologise for ruining your ears of me screaming on lap 7. By the way, I thought I'd bring that out now. Matt Smith's going to have the outside line into turn number 5. But Ricardo will stay ahead, keeping P16 for now. Colin Backer still doing decent times of 46.0. 46.2 for Batesman. It's a new personal best for him, but it's not enough to try and catch Backer. Batesman's off the pace. Ricardo goes defensive into 7, which will keep Matt Smith wide, weirdly. Oh, a little moment for Smith that's going to cause Fern to go back past. The lead guys are all sort of doing 46s, Collins doing 47. That's wide for Fern across the grass. But he's going to stay in the lead, unlike Smith. In the lead of this train, at least. They're all making mistakes, and here on the back of this is Brambo, recently pitted. He's now on the prime tyres, possibly going to the end of this race. He can do on a one-stop. Smith goes wide again. He now gets to use the DRS, but at what cost? Ben Kay has had a little... That's Collins. Ben Kay had a little moment, I think, through turn 3. And drops behind Jake Feimster in the Squeaky Wheels car. I'm just going to randomly switch to Ben Garcia. No. Brambo's who I want to see. Who's gone down the inside of Ricciardo into the final corner. I thought I saw DRS, but that might just be the light bouncing off of the rear wings. The rear wings are now open, and Ricciardo's going to have a look. Brambo makes a little jolt to the inside to push Daniel to the outside. Brambo's going to go really deep down the inside into turn 1. Keeping it clean so far. A little bit more road for Ricciardo on the exit. He's going to hold the inside line. And we'll pull him behind Brambo. He'll look to do the DRS on the next lap. Ben Kay trying to chase back down Jake Feimster after his mistake early on in the lap in the number 69 car that's normally reserved for Marco. Last race was for Marco Bujanek. Yeah, I should say about AF3 while we're in a little lull saying that. Kay's going to have a move down the inside of Deferred in a minute, Feimster in a minute, I can tell. We have AF3, the last 2 rounds. I'm currently in the lead of the championship by 12 points as Ben Kay goes down the inside of Fern into turn 1. Should probably hold that together. Job done, easy peasy. He's now got Collins behind as well. Tuna, here's a battle. Tuna, Andrade and Paulson all together for P8, P9. Yeah, the final 2 rounds of AF3 are expected to be some of the most exciting we've ever seen in our servers. The last 2 rounds is probably the first time we've had a proper battle for the championship going into the final 2 rounds. I have a 12-point lead over, where is he? Ben Collins, currently P8 in our race, with James, who's now out with a broken toe, 19 points behind the lead as well. The last 2 rounds we're going to Macau this Friday, and next Friday will be the Nordschleife for our finale. So definitely tune in for that. It's going to be an incredible race. We're racing WTCRs. I see Bertrand going off, and is he beached at turn 7? He's beached it at turn 7. I didn't think that was possible. Yeah, he's not moving anywhere. Unless he's engaged in the... No, he's actually stuck. I didn't think that was possible. So that'll be Bertrand's race over. That's terrible for him. Because, oh, Vasek decided to dive bomb. Okie dokie. I'll have a look at that a bit later on, after the stream, I think. After the race. I'll have a switch back and have a look at that. Terribly sorry to hear about that, Bright, Charles. Dead Bull is not having a good time in this league so far. Neither is Mongols. I keep noticing this. Garcia and Contreras, they're currently 15th and 22nd. They qualified well in Albert Park, but they dropped back and they ended up outside the points, both drivers. Yeah, Bertrand's still stuck there. Keep trying. Keep trying. I mean, it's not really going to do anything at this point. You're stuck, you're stuck. You know, you're beached. So realistic. Beauty's going to have a look on Gutierrez. He's going to move around the outside into turn 1. Turns in a lot later. Maybe to try and get a switchback, but it's not going to work. I'll make sure you don't get put down as a rage quit if you do leave, Charles. That's Fern with a spin partway through the final chicane. And in the process of rejoining, he's having to deal with lots of people coming past him as well. Fern will rejoin in 21st position. Luckily not beached. I hear a screaming cat. Hello, Tilly. Where's she gone? Come here. Say hello to the people. Hey, Tilly. While all this is happening, Gutierrez has got and Beauty are still battling for position 12. Beauty's surely going to get by soon enough. He looks so... He looks desperate behind there, not going to lie. He looks a little bit desperate. His car language, I guess that's the thing. Body language. You see it on the road all the time. I can sort of tell, yeah, he's going to turn right in it because of the body language. Beauty, he's going to move. Is he going to move to the left or is he going to move to the right going into the final chicane? He's going to move to the right. He's going to go around the outside of Gutierrez. Tilly's had her say, and my computer's frozen again. We're back. Beauty, still not past Gutierrez. Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Tuner's got past Denoyer. I've got a cat blocking my screen, but I can see Beauty just next to my cat's arse that Beauty's going to move around the outside into turn 1. Lantern has had a spin at... where has Lantern spun? He's spun at the final chicane. He's got back going again. He's going to go behind Garcia, and Garcia's going to inherit 14th place. Beauty still not past Gutierrez, but he's going to have surely a dive into turn 3. He's not. Lantern into the pits. Currently on the prime tyres, so maybe he's going to try prime option? I don't know. This could be a possible window for an option tyre 2-stop. If you pit now on the primes, you could do 12-12. Does that work? Yeah, that does work. 12-12 on options. That's pretty good. Lowy into the pits, so maybe it is the time to pit for a 2-stopper. Lowy into the pits from the lead. He's on the prime tyres. He's coming out on the option tyres. I mean, Lowy's definitely not going to make 23 laps on these tyres, but it's worth a try. So he's forced onto a 2-stop. DK and Colin Backer, both on the option tyres from the start, plus 1 pit stop. So they're on a 2-stop, so they've still got a stop. Lowy is 8 seconds behind Backer. So DK now has 11 seconds, so he's gained a second. Beauty weaving left and right to try and find one way past Gutierrez, who's going to move to the outside again in the final chicane. They've had a little touch through there, but they both get away scot-free pretty much. But Beauty still remains behind. LeGreg has had a spin. Another bad day for LeGreg. He spun it at, I think that's the exit of the stadium section. Surely. It's been so many laps now. Beauty, I've got other battles to look at. Come on, Beauty, get past already. He's going to look around the outside again into turn 1. He's going to dive it up the inside one day or another. That is a brilliant move. That's the most powerful switchback I've ever seen. Here's what I want to see. The battle for, I don't even know, 5th place? It's 5th place. I see 5 cars there, so I got confused. It's 5th place, because in the front of that queue is Miguel. Miguel Michelena, P26th. Fonseca, P17, I should point out. Thank you, Bebas, for the cheer. Is anything going to happen between these 4? Something's got to give. Because Tuner and Denoyer are at the back of this field. But Collins is at the front of it. So if Tuner wants any chance at a good result, he's got to get past Feimster and Ben Kay pretty soon if he wants a shot at getting past Collins. Yeah, if anybody who's driving is listening to this, there's a car stranded on the outside of turn 7. I'm sure you've seen it, and I'm sure you've heard Charles Bertrand mention it a few times. Give him a hand. Particularly if you like Charles LeGreg and you're like a little bit down. Just give him a hand, give him a little push. Or even Miguel, who's P26, give him a little push. As Callum Dunn and Andrade both come into the pits. Andrade on the prime tyres at the minute, so it's time for his first stop of the race. Tuner's looking a little racy behind Jake Feimster. We're at half distance in this race. Some people still yet to pit, including Jens Bitsma. Although he had a little moment there, I got scared. I saw him disappear on my graphic. A few people though, actually. Gutierrez is just DNF'd. Has he disappeared into thin air? Has he just quit? I don't know what's happened. Maybe he'll return in a minute. We'll check on that. But in the meantime, Gutierrez is apparently out of this race. Novak's just done Lantern for P19. And the top 2 are both in. The top 2 are both in. DK and Backer, both in the pit lane. It's a race to come out. DK will probably finish this race. He's just pitted for the prime tyres. He'll need to catch up on Lowy, who has still got to pit once more. Backer will come out on the prime tyres as well. So neither of them have got to stop. They've completed both of their pit stops now. So the race is on. Is it going to be Lowy, DK, or Backer, or is it going to be someone else? Let me know in the chat. Be sure to follow us as well to keep an eye out for more races coming up. We've got a wonderful lineup next week. Week of Death, I'm going to call it, because next week we've got in AF3 we've got Macau, as I mentioned earlier. AF2 is back next week with Road America. That's a 2-hour race instead of a normal 1.5-hour race. As Matt Smith had a spin from 15th. Bertrand, you can still see that he's still trying. He's still trying, bless him. And AF1 is back next Sunday with the Red Bull Ring. Is round 3, if I'm not mistaken. Is Ben K is going to have a look at. He's having a look at Collins coming into. I think that's turn number 5. And there's the quintet is becoming a duo and a trio. Collins and K, as well as Tuna, Denoyer and Feimster. Vasek is into the pits. He's towards the back of the grid. He's currently in P24. Be a while before he passes Gutierrez to get that free position for 23rd. Fonseca is in from 15th. And he's going to come out in the battle for 17th between Smith, Novak and Lantern. He won't. He'll come out just ahead of it. But here's Smith, Novak and Lantern. This is the battle for P16. Smith has a lock-up and so does Novak. But Novak's got the outside line. He's not going to try and switch back to the inside. And Smith blocks it off. So that's put him under pressure from Lantern, who's had to back off as well. Meanwhile, DK has done Backer for P2. Where is Backer? There's Backer. Oh, it's because Batesman's coming. Jensen's coming to the pits. He's come out on the option tyres. He's done his prime stint. He'd gone much longer. In fact, he pitted earlier in the race. This is actually his second stop. He won't be able to finish the race doing 20 laps of the options unless he really tries. But he'll be pushing for two 10-lap stints, you would think, on the options towards the end of this race. I have a cat here who doesn't like the amount of attention I'm giving her. It's not a lot. There's a race on. But what I want to see is what is now kicking off for P5. Ben K has got past Ben Collins, who's now blocking off, who's now defending from Tuna and Denoyer, who are both within 0.2 of a second of him. This is what it looks like from the onboard of Andrea Denoyer. Down the hill towards turn 7. He's having a look already at Tuna. He's not going to make a dive at turn 7, surely. No, a little lock up for Collins. Doesn't go too wide. In fact, he keeps his line pretty well. Out of turn 7 and back up the hill we go. Oh, Denoyer looked a little loose on the rear, but he goes wide at turn 8. That's going to ruin his run all the way up the hill. Jake Feimster is going to join in this battle as well for 5th place. It's 5 for 5th. And what's not helping DK and Backer right now is the fact that they have now got lap traffic. Novak, the battle for 18th, Novak, Fern and Fonseca are all together. Collins, you can see just up ahead, down the inside of Ben K, going into the final chicane. They've tapped wheels. Ben K's gone wide. Tuna's gone for the outside line at the second part of the final chicane, which you'd never do. Denoyer has gone for a move and takes P7. Denoyer surely is going to have a move on Ben K coming down the front straight and into turn number 1, the tight hairpin. Is Denoyer going to have a look? The slipstream doesn't look to be much of an effect so far. He's not going to make a move this time. Ben K locks up and almost attacks the rear end of Collins, which has forced Denoyer to take the inside line to try and get past, to take advantage of the incident. Tuna behind. Yes, this is the RSS V6 Formula 3. We've had made some slight adjustments with permission from relevant people to change mostly tyres. Yeah, I can imagine Bertrand, you've kind of pushed so hard to try and get trying to get the... Oh, down the inside goes Tuna to turn 7. On Ben K, there's a little tap, but nothing too severe. Ben K will go behind. Oh, and you're so close through turn 8 and 9. This is going to put De Nooijer in the frame for a move into turn number 10. Ricciardo's had a spin. Oh no, he's not. He's coming to the pits. It's letting me down. This thing's letting me down. But he's going to come to the pits, and from P17 he's going to come out outside the top 20, maybe even 21st. Is Ben K going to have a look into the final chicane? He is on Tuna. Tuna's down the inside of the final chicane. He's going to stay ahead for now. Here's De Nooijer behind. There's almost a tap on the gearbox. In fact, Ben K is going to come into the pits for his second stop. Unless he's gone from the start. I don't think he's gone from the start on the prime tyres. So he's done pretty well. There's no way he's going to have to pit twice, I would think, because he's going to have to do 18 laps on the options, which nobody's been able to do. And while all this is happening, they've also got the lapped car. That's Ricciardo coming out the pits. Maybe a bit of team orders let Tuna by block De Nooijer behind, maybe? I doubt it. It's a 24-second lead for Lowy, who really needs that. He's going to be pitting around lap 33, 34 if he wants to do a quick 12-lap stint on the options at the end. That could be the gap he's got there could be enough to stay ahead after that last pit stop. But I do remind DK and Bakker haven't got to stop again. So if either one of them can get anywhere near Lowy, we've got a decent battle on our hands at the end of this race. But they need to pick up the pace. A 44.4, I should mention, is for Lowy. Batesma's done Bakker. I don't know how. Batesma just jumped ahead. There's like suddenly a 5-second gap between them. Did Bakker have an issue that we didn't see? Novak's done Fern for 17th. Because Fern's disappeared off into thin air. I mean, he is there. I can see him over there. I know he's over the hill. Oh no, he's had a spin. And he's got himself on the inside. That's going to cause Fonseca to have to go wide. But he's all good for now. Here's the battle for 5th again. It's Ben Collins versus Khan Tuna. I need a different camera angle. Not the static one. That one. Ben Collins outside of at the last corner with Tuna chasing him down. It's still half a second. De Nooijer is still in there behind. He's just lurking a little bit, maybe even dropping off the back of this field just a little bit. Okay, I'll show Fonseca, but first here's Novak. I did show Fonseca a minute ago. Here's Novak, who's... I think all the drivers are having some issues with the gravel, maybe. But he's still got to wait for a nice gap, and it's just coming up. It's not long, because here comes the battle for 5th coming into this as well. As Collins and Tuna are side by side, he's got Novak rejoining to deal with as well. This is going to be interesting, and I think that's Michelena coming across the grass as well. Now it's Vasic actually in the other Gunter's Pride car. And Tuna takes 5th place from Collins. Novak is still up ahead. It's three for 5th. 28 seconds now is the gap between Lowy and DK. I'm intrigued to see what DK's last lap was, because at that sort of gap, that's not fast enough. Little moment there for De Nooijer, it looked like, on the exit of turn number 10. And onto the back straight once more. Collins has got DOS, but so has Tuna this time because of Novak. Is Novak going to move out the way? I don't think he is. He probably should. He does. But Tuna's going to have to work for it. He does move. Collins will go down the inside as well, and so will De Nooijer, I assume. Yes, he does. So luckily he gets out of the way safely enough, and no change that wasn't necessary. We're going to ride on board with Ben Collins again as he tries to chase down Tuna to turn 1 on lap number 29. He's going to switch to the outside. Tuna goes defensive down the inside. Collins breaks so much later than Tuna does. It's not going to work because he's going to take a much wider line. De Nooijer behind, not really challenging at this point. He's still about a second behind. Enough for DOS, but not enough to make a move. I had a feeling that Collins was going to try and make a move into turn 4. Andrade has done Paulson for P9. Meanwhile, that is just behind this backpack at the stadium section. Here you go, here's Fonseca. Back to Collins, going towards turn number 7. Little lock up into turn 7 is not going to help him coming out of it. He's got that one all the way up the hill to deal with. A little touch on that entry curve isn't going to help his run through there either. He's going to lose ground. He needs to be as close as possible coming out of the final, out of turn 11, if he wants a shot at the final chicane. I will point out as well, the gap between DK and Bitsma is less than a second. Thank you, Bright, for subscribing. Wow, thank you. And now you've got fireworks all over the place. Thanks for that. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. You'll get a nice special. If you've hooked up your Discord profile to your Twitch profile, you'll get a special role in our Discord servers as well. That I don't know what it does yet. Here's Batesman. He's got a good run out of the stadium section. He's going to be on DK going into turn 5 and down the hill towards 7. He's got the outside line. He's going to back out of it for now. But he's surely going to try and do a little switch back to get a good run. He's touched the entry. He's touched the curb on the inside. It's not going to help him down the hill. But he's still got the slipstream. He's closing on DK. He's going to make a move into 7. He might do a little move. He has a look. They're still close. Maybe a little swipe of the rear, but not enough to cause a spin or anything. Ben K getting past Paul Paulson, isn't it? Paul Paulson, yeah, I got that right. His name is pretty memorable. He says, forgetting it. Ricciardo's DNF'd. Daniel Ricciardo is DNF'd. I'm very curious to see what's happened with that. It's a wide moment for, I think that's Charles Leclerc, probably in... yeah, it was Charles Leclerc in the Port Energy racing car. Charles Leclerc's teammate today, Gutierrez, currently DNF'd. So another, it's a bad day for Port Energy racing. Batesman's got past DK. And I'm sorry we missed that, but DK's going to come back at him surely coming into turn number 1. He's got DRS wide open. He's going to pull to the outside line. He's side by side with him now. Round the outside, he's got lock up on the front right. Batesman's on the prime. Batesman's on the options, and DK's on the primes. But Lowe's also on the options. So this could be between Lowe and Batesman. But both of them will have to pit again. So DK needs to not fight Batesman if he wants a shot at the win today. Backer's 12 seconds out. He's probably out of this. Lantern and Smith has had a spin. Both at turn... They're both at turn 3, I think. Yeah, they're both at turn 3. I wonder if that was related. I expect it was. Let's bring you back quickly to the battle for P5. Tuna, Denoyer, Collins. The three of them are within about a second. They've also got lap cars around them. The Mongrels car behind. And that's Tuna who had a moment out of turn number 4. It's going to be enough for Denoyer to have a go down the inside. Is there a good camera for this? No, there isn't. But this one will do. Denoyer's going to stay behind. Tuna's got away with it for now. But ahead of this is also Fern in 17th and Fonseca in 18th. Look, Fonseca's on the screen. Fonseca's on the screen. Sorry, I'm really sorry to hear that, Marco. Hopefully we'll see you in the Red Bull Ring or in some of our other races. Ooh, that was a moment there. I think Denoyer didn't actually have a problem. There's that's Fonseca, one of the Moax racing cars going wide. This means Tuna does have the DRS, but so does Denoyer. Denoyer is closing pretty fast though. Collins is lurking 0.6 of a second back in P7. Stay behind for now. I have no idea. Emma? No. Thank you, Marco, for subscribing as well. Wow. 2 new subscribers. It's amazing. I will say in 2 weeks, I don't know, because they haven't actually posted the calendar in this chat, which is annoying. Is it pinned in a different chat, maybe? No. They've actually forgotten. They've actually forgotten to post the entire calendar, but I know the race next week is at Red Bull Ring. That's as far as I know, and that's only because I heard someone else say it. Oh, yeah, Daniel Ricciardo's internet died. That is terrible to hear, because you were doing relatively well, sort of the lower midfield, with some hefty battles going on as well. Speaking of which, it's Denoyer on Tuna, your teammate, Daniel. That wasn't all for nothing. There's Fern getting out of the way. Had to double check that. Going with Schumacher S's, that's a terrible time to have to check up on that one. We'll touch on the AstroTurf might cause some issues through turn 10, but gets away with it. And to back off a little bit through turn 11 as well. That's going to compromise his run down the back straight towards the final chicane, but he's got enough of a slipstream. In fact, Tuna is having to go. He's going to go to the left. He's going far slower than I was expecting him. He would do. But he's going to go round the outside into the final chicane. But Denoyer is going to back off and let Tuna have it for now, which means surely a move down into turn 1 is going to be the order of the day, coming up as they start lap number 33. As 5th and 6th start lap 33 now, Lowe's coming out of turn 8 and 9. Is it going to be to the outside again for Denoyer? That seems to be the direction of choice. No one seems to be risking a move down the inside into 1, it seems. But Tuna will stay ahead of Denoyer for now. Denoyer's got an excellent run out of turn turn 2, and Tuna went a little bit over the AstroTurf as well. The AstroTurf on the exit 2 is really, really low grip. You will just lose everything there. This is really good racing from everybody in this field. It's amazing. Denoyer's still desperate for a move. Really wants to get by. Brambo has had a spin. I can tell you that is at the final chicane. Or is it? He's teleported back to the pits. Lowe's in the pits now. Will it be enough? Batesma is coming out. Lowe's moving away now, and Batesma's not even at the final chicane. Lowe's got the victory at this point in time. A little... Don't do that, you'll almost spin going over the sausage curbs. Garcia's in the pits as well. DK hasn't pitted yet. I don't think he'll need to. He's on the prime tyres. Batesma will have to pit again. Jens will have to pit again. He's on the option tyres. And he should be coming in the next couple of laps. Ben K had a little spin as well. You saw his name go red. Fonseca's done Brambo. Yeah, Jens did get past. I missed it, actually. But I'm sure it was a good move. I should say, yeah, Batesman's coming out of turn 4 and Lowy is here coming out of turn 6. So the gap's a little bit closer. But Lowy could do with like a puncture or something for Batesman to have any chance. And the server has died. Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. To answer your question, Slayer Spy, I don't know, because they've all just died. So... this is going to make things very... I think I jinxed it there. That's my fault. And I'll tell you why it's my fault. It's my fault because I just said, oh, Lowy needs a puncture or something. I didn't mean for the whole server to crash. So, I don't know what's going to happen now, but hopefully we might even get some people rejoining the race. We should be getting the server restarting. Yeah, we'll try and get the server restarted. We're on lap 34 or 45, so there's still a good 10 laps to go. This isn't the first time this has happened. We've had a couple of server crashes recently. Yeah, I didn't think commentators' curse was real. I've seen it in action, and I've seen it happen fast. That's a little... that's weird. That's really weird. I have the power. And as the server crashed, it was lower that led by 12 seconds. Yeah, I should probably let James know when the server's being restarted, but for now, yeah, go ahead and watch Charged. Go ahead and watch the Charged stream. They're running the modern DTMs. I don't know where they're running them actually. I didn't hear. But they're running the modern DTMs today. That sounds like a really good race. We did an AF2 season with the modern DTMs fairly recently, and that was a lot of fun. At least I thought that. Not everyone did. So we'll have a little hiatus now. I'm just going to take a little break to try and we got a red flag situation at the minute. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and jump into a different chat and find out what's going on, and I'll let you know what's going on as soon as I can. welcome back. Hello. Just to let you know then, we will not be restarting this race. We've completed 75% of the race, so the results will be taken from the end of lap 33, which means the winner is, I mean, not that it matters what lap it comes from if it's the winner we're looking at. It's Lowy that takes the win. We're taking the results from the end of lap 33, as I said, and I have the results from that here. Lowy took the win, Jens finishes second, DK third, Colin Backer will finish fourth, Tuna fifth, Denoyer sixth, Ben Collins finishes seventh, Ben Kay will finish eighth, Ruben Andrade will finish ninth, Jake Feimster finishes 10th. Outside the top 10 we have Beauty in 11th, Paulson 12th, Garcia 13th, Jack Lanton finishes 14th and Matt Smith 15th. Brambo finishes 16th, Fern 17th, Fonseca in the Moax racing car finishes 18th, Novak 19th, Contreras 20th, Callum Dunn finishes 21st, Vasek 22nd, Michelena finishes 23rd, then we have Charles Gray 24th, Ricardo 25th after connection issues, Gutierrez I think had connection issues as well as Bertrand, who got stuck in the gravel. And there we have it. It's kind of unfortunate that we didn't get to see the climax of that race, but nonetheless, what an amazing race that turned out to be. Lap 7 in particular just strikes me as one of the best moments I've seen in our servers. Just hearing the chat from the voice chat that happens for the league race, I heard some people saying it's some of the most fun they've had in Assetto Corsa. And I have to agree with that. I'm not even racing. That was incredible. That was an incredible race. Lowy got taken out twice. You just don't see that. It's like seeing pigs fly. As a little treat, what I will try and do is now get you what happened at the end. What happened on lap 7. Hopefully, we should see a good view of who caused what. So Lowy takes his second win in a row. I believe he also takes the fastest lap point and the pole points. It's another Grand Slam for him, putting him on 54 points. DK finishes, Jens finishes second in his first race of the season. DK rounds out the podium in third. Ben Collins, who had finished well in round 1, finishes 7th. Tuna finished second last race. He finishes 5th this time. So a little setback in his championship challenge. Yes, I know this is just filler. Waiting for the rest of the thing to come up. Thank you ever so much for everyone for joining us. I don't even know how many there are. The viewer numbers don't update, but I saw it as high as 30. I appreciate every single one of you. Great to have you here. Thank you everyone who followed, who subscribed. Feel free to subscribe as well and follow us for more updates, so you can tell when our live races happen. But I will tell you they happen every Friday, Saturday and Sunday every week. Let's find the right cars then. We got. Let's have a look at Jens. This looks like a quali session. That is not the race. I don't think that's the right race. Have I still got it? No, that is the right race. Who was involved in that incident at the start? I've forgotten. Tuna, I know Tuna was involved, so I'll try and find him for you. Which means I've got to load the replay again. I'm an idiot. In the meantime, be sure to join us on our Discord server. I believe if you do !Discord, you'll get a link. Join us over our, I guess you call them our cousins, over at Charged Sim Racing. Hey, look at that. Did I just say !Discord and it works? Huh. Yeah, be sure to join our cousins over at Charged Sim Racing. They've got some excellent races on as well. Over here we have our 4 leagues. We have a new season of AF4 starting soon. Sign-ups will be opening for that soon, so please join us for that. It'd be great to have it, or any of you. Now we have a wide skill range, as I'm sure that race will attest. So wherever you race, whatever your skill, you'll find some great racing. Have I even got lap 7? I don't think I've got lap 7. I don't have lap 7. That's incredibly disappointing. I need to increase the number of increase the limit. But I think that will do us for today. I say no more race. We've had an early red flag due to a server crash, which is terribly disappointing. But yeah, sort of a sad end to a very exciting race. There's battles all the way through that race. I loved every minute of it. Thank you ever so much for joining us. As I say, next week we have, that's the end of our racing for this week. Next Friday, AF3 is back for the last 2 races. The first one at Macau. AF2 is back next Saturday with Road America, a 2-hour race with double points on offer. And next Sunday is round 3 of AF1, assuming our servers work by then, which they definitely should do. That is AF1 at the Red Bull Ring. But for now, until next Sunday when I see you again,